Good morning, everybody. Good morning. I think I said my hellos in the chat room. Now I'm saying hello live on camera. How's everybody doing this morning? Wait a minute. Don't answer that. I won't be able to look over and see all of your answers right now. Hopefully you're doing well. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on what part of the world you're in right now. For me, it's morning, of course. And it's nice. It's nice now in Spokane, Washington, where I'm from. The snow is melting. It's like 35 degrees about Fahrenheit. So yeah, it's nice and it's good. Hi, Abdulaziz. Hi, Jundi. Hello, Unkonu. It's afternoon there. And of course, hello to all my friends from around the world. In Morocco, it's afternoon in Morocco right now. That's fascinating. You guys are ahead of me in the day. You're ahead of me in time already. Okay. Hi, Riham. Afternoon. It looks like it's afternoon for a lot of you right now. For Jundi, it's the evening, but for a lot of you, it's the afternoon. For me, it's the morning. The morning is just beginning. My day is just beginning. I'm still trying to wake up a little bit. No coffee this morning, so I want to cry. But instead of crying, I'll go straight to the lesson page. Hello, Idris. Milena, 9 p.m. That's crazy to me. That's crazy. You guys are in the future. Rosa, it's 4:30 p.m. in Italy. Vivek, you want to steal my t-shirt? What's the size? Extra large. Extra large. Vivek, can you wear an extra large? Holy cow, 9:03 p.m. in India. 10:33, Jundi, where are you? Where are you where it's 10:33? 10:33 in Vietnam. 9:03 p.m. Shubham, tell me, guys, how is the future? 11:30 in Australia. 6:30 in France. Mashari, 6:30 where you are. Solomon, 9 p.m. Iraq, 6:35. It's 5 p.m. in the Ukraine. Hopefully, what is the future like, guys? Hopefully it's good. Is it a good day today? Will it be a good day today? I'm counting on you to let me know. All right, let's look at the class notes real quick. You want, Rosie, you want to come back to the past? Maybe not. Maybe not. Remember how tired you were this morning? Remember how tired you were when you woke up? That's how I'm feeling right now. I'm still waking up, still adjusting to morning. And Saad, it's cold where you are. I see all those O's. It's very cold where you are, Saad. Oh, good. A wonderful day in Indonesia, Jundi. That's good to hear. It's 15:34 in London, where Betsy is. It's good. Oh, good. Nkuno, I'm glad to hear it's a good day. But cold. Leo, you're here to improve your English. Of course you are. Okay, let's get to it then. Let's get to the English. If you have any more questions about any of these classes we do on Smrt, of course, you can ask Zach. Here is Zach's email here. Feel free to use this email and ask him any questions. If you have more questions about these live classes, if you're interested in signing up and subscribing to a class, here is your Smart's live page here. You can look at either of those pages. If you want to know more about the school where I work, you can follow this link here, the SCEL page. If you are not yet a member of our Facebook group, Learn English on Facebook, you can join here. And then finally, if you want to watch archived videos, I actually have this window open. If you want to watch any archived videos of any of these Smrt classes, you can follow this link and look at all the old videos. And you'll see myself and Josh and Abby and Sean, and then older videos from Mark, and you might be able to find some older videos from Nicole as well. So check out these links. If you have any questions, contact Zach. If you want to know more about the classes, look at these. If you want to know more about the school where I and Abby and Josh work, follow this link. If you're not yet a group on Facebook, follow this link. And if you want to watch any old archived videos, follow this link. I'm Neal Hallgarth. I'll be your teacher for the morning. And any questions? Okay, no questions so far. No vocabulary so far, although we are going to talk about contrast and concession. And there is a difference, and the difference is sometimes slight, sometimes small. Slight just means small, and we use it often with the word difference. There is a slight difference, a small difference, a tiny difference between contrast and concession. Sometimes it's very apparent, sometimes it's very noticeable. Apparent is just easy to notice, easy to see. Contrast, of course, is difference. Contrast is difference. I'll make that a little bigger in the background. Two things are clearly different. Concession, however, is two things are not necessarily different, but the author wants to give equal time to both. A concession is maybe there's a difference, maybe there's not such a big difference. The author wants to say both are valid. And this word here, valid. Valid means, oh boy, now I put myself in a corner. What does valid mean? Valid means reputable. I'm trying to think of an easy word. Valid. Both sides are valid. Can be agreed upon. Logical. Reasonable. So here we're using concession. It's often used in writing. Concession is often used to show, yeah, like compromise. That's a good word. Thank you, Vivek. Like a compromise. Like, I want to present my side, but the other side also has good points. Okay, so let's talk about contrast and concession. You can follow along in the notes. I'll be using the presentation in the background here. Okay. Contrast and concession, we use these in writing because they're used for linking ideas to show contrast and concession. Now let me just start over. I tried to make a sentence out of that. Let me start over. Linking ideas to show contrast and concession is common in academic writing. There's a slight difference, small difference, however, between a simple contrast and a concession. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at this example, Western Canada is quite mountainous. However, the prairie provinces are very flat. Western Canada is quite mountainous. However, the prairie provinces are very flat. And as you may know, in Canada, it is divided into provinces. Okay, so here we have Western Canada is quite mountainous. That's our first point. However is a word that clearly shows contrast. Anytime you see this word, however, it's like the word but. It's like the coordinating conjunction but. It shows difference. You use it to show difference. The prairie provinces are very flat. Obviously, mountainous and very flat is a clear contrast. In geography, in landscapes, there can't be a bigger difference than mountainous and very flat. So this, however, shows we're linking these two ideas, these two sentences, with however, and we're linking them in such a way that shows that we are saying they are very, very different. This word, however, is marking that these two ideas are very, very different. And I'm going to throw another however in there. However, we are talking about the same topic. We're talking about Canada. So if you are talking about the same topic, and yet there is a difference within that topic, the difference is contained within that topic, it's a good idea to use the word however. Let's look at next. In this sentence, we are making a simple contrast. This sentence here, the Canada sentence. We are making a simple contrast, which means we are making a comparison to show a difference between two subjects. And I'm going to disagree a little bit. This is not two subjects. I mean, mountains and very flat land, those are different. But remember, we're talking about the same topic. Canada, I would say it's the same subject. We use contrast within the same topic or the same subject to show that there is a difference somewhere. There's a difference within that topic or subject. The idea of concession is slightly different, a little different. Let's look at a concession sentence. Although, and there's our concession word, although the city council agreed that a new arena would be too expensive, they decided to approve the project. Okay, here we have would be too expensive, and of course this word here, too, this adverb, too expensive. City council agreed it would be too expensive, too much money. And you think that if you think too much money, well, they're going to say no. There's just no way, right? If it's too much money, no, it's not going to be built. They decided to approve the project. So with concession, you have two ideas, and it seems like these two ideas are in opposition. They kind of fight with each other. You could not contain these two ideas at the same time. However, when we use a word like although, though, even though, words like these, we're showing that these two ideas, even though they may seem to not fit together at all, they're kind of fighting with each other, they're both true. They're both true. Although the city council agreed that a new arena would be too expensive, they decided to approve the project. So too expensive, and yet there is approval. And Rosa here, although, is one of the special conjunctive adverbs for concession. This sentence expresses a concession. What we have said in one clause is slightly unexpected. It's a surprise clause because of what we said in the other clause. It is slightly surprising that both of these statements are true because they oppose each other. Here are some common linking devices to express concession. I'm glad you asked, Rosa. See, you asked, are there any special conjunctive adverbs? Here are some conjunctive adverbs. Let's take a look. however, nevertheless, still, although, though, even though, despite, in spite of. And here, there should actually be a space. There should be a space here. I wish I could edit this. Should be in space, spite, space of. Nonetheless, yet, even so, while. Let's look at some examples. She has been studying German for several months, yet she cannot understand a word of it. You think if somebody had been studying German for several months, they could understand it easily? But let's look at the surprise statement, the unexpected statement. She cannot understand a word of it. Her studying has got her nowhere. This is a bit of a surprise. So this is a concession sentence using the word yet. Let's look at the next one. Flying is expensive and the service is generally poor. Nevertheless, it is the preferred method of travel for most people. Here's our conjunctive adverb, nevertheless. Now let me get my head out of the way. Okay. Flying is expensive and the service is generally poor. Nevertheless, it is the preferred method of travel for most people. So even though flying is expensive and the service is generally poor, you would think people don't want it. People don't want to travel that way. However, they do. It shows surprise, unexpected, things like that. Oh, let me get out of the way there. So two things that should be in opposition are not in opposition. We're saying they can exist together. They can coexist peacefully. More examples. Although the situation seems hopeless, it is important to remain optimistic. And there is although again. Despite the risks, they chose to continue up the mountain. Notice this one's a little different. Okay, let's look at although. When we have although, we have a noun, the situation, and we have verb, seems. Although the situation seems, noun, verb. Although the situation seems hopeless, it is important to remain optimistic. So here we have a full clause. We have a noun and a verb. It's a dependent clause. And here we have an independent clause. Here, though, we just have a noun. We have despite and the noun. So when you have despite or in spite of, when you use these two words, you're just going to have a noun, some kind of noun phrase. Despite the risks, they chose to continue up the mountain. Maybe here's a good time to pause and talk more about despite and in spite of. I can put, in the class notes, I can put the space. Let's look at some of these sentences. Okay, for despite. Let's look at this sentence. Let's see if I can make it bigger. Despite the snow, we walked to school. We would not write, despite it snowing, we walked to school. So here you can see the difference. We just need a noun. And we would definitely not try to include a noun and a verb. Despite it was snowing, we walked to school. This is wrong. That's wrong. In spite of the weather, we played soccer. That's correct. Not in spite of the weather raining. This would be wrong. You just need a noun or a noun phrase. That noun phrase can be a gerund. You can use a gerund, which is a verb plus an ing to make a noun. So this is also correct. Despite being late, we were able to take the test. So a noun phrase. Okay, Jundi, you have one. Despite the lies, I want to believe her anyway. That is correct. Jundi, that's good. You just use a noun, despite the lies. Knowledge is free. So knowledge is free. I'm going to use yours as an example. People prefer going to fairs. Here, this despite of, this is a common mistake. You can write in spite of, or you can write despite, but you can't mix them at all. You can't mix any of the words. So you would just take off of. Despite the crowd, people prefer going to fairs. Let's look at some others. That's despite and in spite of. Shubham, you used although. Although it's snowing, we walked to school. That's good. With although, even though, you're going to want noun verb. And here you have it is snowing. You have it plus a continuous verb. Although it is snowing, we walk to school. That is correct. You want a clause. Let's see. Despite, Leo, you're using me in an example. Despite the weather, Neal still has to feed the meter. That's correct. I can't let the weather be an excuse not to feed the meter. Despite giving pain, I love her. I'm assuming she's the one giving pain, Vivek, or is it you giving the pain? Who's giving the pain there? Despite the fact that it was snowing, we played soccer. This is also correct. Here we have a noun, the fact, and then we have, what would that be, an adjective clause? Actually, I think that's a noun clause. The fact that, yeah, that's a noun clause. So then we have a noun and then a clause describing that noun. Despite the fact that it was snowing, we played soccer. Although it was snowing, we went out. Yes, Rosa, that is correct. Although it was snowing, we went out. We have noun and then a continuous or a progressive verb there. Despite, okay, so with this one, Chari, you would say despite, you can't say he woke up because that's a noun and a verb. With despite, you just want a noun phrase. So we'll make it a gerund. The easy way, let's look at that again. Despite he woke up early, he came late. Okay, so to change this, all you have to do to make this correct, delete the noun and change the verb into an ing. So that's all you have to do. Delete the noun, change the verb to an ing, and it's correct. Despite waking up early, he came late. In spite of, and remember that full phrase, in spite of the struggle. I have to go up and look at that sentence again. In spite of the struggle, people are still friendly. Well, I hope so. In spite of the struggle, people are still friendly. Correct. Although I am hurt, I am going to play soccer. That is correct. Prefer going or prefer to go? I think either one is fine, Melinda. Prefer going or prefer to go. I think personally I would use prefer to go to the fair, but prefer going to the fair is fine as well. Despite being sick, I went to work. Good. Despite being punished, the students giggled. Good. Not sock, sick. Okay, that's a lot. I think you guys got a handle on despite. Idris, I hope this is not true. Although I love this lesson, I don't understand. That's a good sentence, so I would say, actually, you do understand. These are just ways to show concession. Two things are true at the same time. And this is an excellent example of concession. Although I love this lesson, I don't understand. You would think if a student loves a lesson, they do understand. So it's really containing two thoughts. Think of two thoughts that you wouldn't think go together. When we use one of these words, we're showing that despite the fact that they don't seem to go together well, we can actually make them go together. We can show, what can we say? We can show paradox. If I can use that word, we can show that even though two things should not be true at the same time, they are in fact true. I also want to talk, so it looks like you guys have a good handle of despite and although. So let's look at a couple more of the words. Why don't you try using these words? Why don't you try using however and or nevertheless? So for example, and you need punctuation for this. I like ice cream. Then you need a semicolon. Then your conjunctive adverb. Then a comma. I like ice cream, semicolon, however, comma. I am allergic to dairy. I like ice cream, however, I am allergic to dairy. You think someone who is allergic to dairy, who is lactose intolerant, would not like ice cream. But in fact, they do like ice cream. Those two things do not seem to go together. However, we can make them go together. Let's see, there's one. I ate so much food. However, remember semicolon, however, comma, we would still have an appetite. Like that, Hirata. That's good. I ate so much food. However, I still have an appetite. You would think that someone who ate so much food would not have an appetite. However, they do. I want to kill her. However, I don't want to. How about just, I won't. How about, let's make it clear that you won't. I want to study art. However, how about have to do my job? I hate phonetics and phonology. However, I have to study them. And with subjects like phonetics and phonology, you do not need the word subject with it. You can just put the subject name. No one talks about gossip. However, everyone likes it. Yes, you can use, Alexandra, you can use progressive when you're using despite of although or in spite of. However, your progressive will become a gerund. So let me show you those. So we have, although it is raining, I will jog 3 miles. Although it is raining, I will jog 3 miles. Now, are you asking maybe the progressive on the other side? Although it is raining, although it is raining, I am jogging. Despite, I can't use it here. Despite finishing the book, I am going to read it again. In spite of getting in trouble for cheating, I am trying to cheat again on the test. So yeah, we can use progressive or continuous. Leo, I have an argument with the sheriff, semicolon, nevertheless, comma, I didn't shoot him. That sheriff again, shooting the sheriff again. Let's look at this one. I like traveling, however, I'm afraid to fly. Yes, that is correct. The essay was about plagiarism. However, the students plagiarized some information. Good. I love my hometown. However, I have to move. Okay, so with however and then nevertheless, of course, we're showing a more clear contrast with some of these. Oh no, still concession. These are all concession. Yeah, we're just on concession. So to show clear contrast, we use words like but, I like, well, no, I guess all of these are concession so far. Yeah, all these are concession. Okay, let's return. Let's get to the final part of here. In academic writing, when arguing your opinion or weighing the advantages, disadvantages of an idea, you will often have to concede to a point in order to counter it. Then this is called, in academic writing, in an essay, this is called concession. Concede a point to the other side. This means that you admit that a point is true or valid, even though you disagree with it. By doing so, you will provide a more balanced argument discussion and strengthen your overall assignment. For example, while the benefits of this plan are evident, it is important to consider the problems it may create. So here, you're going to argue against the benefits of a plan. While the benefits of this plan are evident, it is important to consider the problems it may create. But then you go back to your side. You're against the plan. You want people to consider the problem. It is true that large companies like Walmart create jobs for a community. However, they also put small local stores out of business with their competitive pricing. It is true that large companies like Walmart create jobs for a community. So you are conceding a point to Walmart. However, they also put small local stores out of business with their competitive pricing. So where you end up will be your points. This is the point you're trying to make in your essay or paper. So Walmart create jobs for a community. You're giving a point to Walmart. You're conceding a point to Walmart. However, they also put small local stores out of business with their competitive pricing. You're getting back to your point. Ultimately, you are against Walmart in this essay. So, in academic writing, when you have to write a paper, here, let me put another table in here. When you have to write your own paper, you'll want to concede a point. You'll want to concede a point to the other side. So for example, it is true that defunding government departments will reduce taxation and spending. However, many people are already dependent on the services provided by those departments. So this part is the concession to the other side. This, however, shows that I'm returning to my side. So wherever I end up after the concession, that's going to be my side. That's the side I am arguing. So Rosa's asking, when you use a quotation and you want to analyze it, we use concession. If you disagree with it, Rosa, if you disagree with it, if you use a quotation and you analyze it and find that you disagree with it, you're going to use concession. You're going to say the quotation is valid, the information, the ideas, the thoughts are valid, they are important. You're still going to disagree with it. Concession ultimately shows that you're siding stronger with your side than the side you're showing. So if you analyze a quotation and you disagree with it, you still want to show that the information is valid. However, you still have a point of disagreement. Okay, let's see. What else do we have? Rosa, let's look at your sentence. It is true that using slang in daily life helps students to sound like native speakers. However, using it a lot may affect students' academic writing. That's true. It is true that using slang in daily life helps students to sound like native speakers. However, using it a lot may affect students' academic writing. So this is a valid point. It's a true point. However, Rosa, you are ultimately agreeing with the side of using academic language. It is ultimately better for students to use academic language. So that's good. That's a good example. So use this for concession. I'm thinking, how can we show the difference between contrast and concession? Let me show you using the word but. Let's use, instead of a conjunctive adverb, let's use a coordinating conjunction like but. I went to the movies, but my brother stayed home and watched TV. Okay, Here we're using but to show a clear contrast, I went to the movies, but my brother stayed home and watched TV. So this but is showing two clearly different activities, I don't like horror movies, but I watch them anyway. This is more of a concession. Here I'm using the coordinating conjunction but again, but this is more concession. You would think these two ideas could not be contained in the same sentence, could not be talking about the same person. There's a surprise here. There's something unexpected here. I don't like horror movies. The assumption is that I would not watch them then. But then I say, but I watch them anyway. And this is more concession. Here we have two clearly different actions from two different people. Here we have two ideas that don't seem to fit together. Why would somebody who doesn't like horror movies watch them? However, we're saying in the statement that it's true. Both I don't like horror movies and I watch them. So this is concession. Going back up to Rose's, which is far more academic, she's using the conjunctive adverb, however. You would think that because using slang helps students sound like native speakers, language students, when they're learning, using slang makes them sound like they know the language they're speaking. However, using it a lot may affect students' academic writing. In fact, it does. It's just not may affect, it does affect. It's very true. Slang is not good to use in academic writing. It's not as useful a tool in school as it is in society. So we have two things that don't seem to really fit together, and we're acknowledging that they don't really seem to fit together. In academic writing, you want to give a point to the other side. You want to say it's valid, it's true. You use a conjunctive adverb to show that you are actually going to side on this other side. Let's look at more of your examples. It is true, I don't feel pain. However, when I kill someone, I do feel a little pain. Are you an assassin, Vivek? Are you saying you're an assassin? Let's just call this a fine example of fictional writing. A fine example of fictional writing. Okay, so hopefully so far this is making sense. And since I saw some student is going to be taking an exam soon, let's quickly, in the end, talk about addition. Okay, so we talked about concession a lot. Let's talk about addition. At times, when you're writing an academic paper or you're writing for an academic exam, you want to add information to a sentence to reinforce your point, make your point stronger. Commonly used words for addition are and, to, also, and as well as. However, there are some linking devices that are commonly used in more formal writing to add information and strengthen a point. In addition, moreover, furthermore. These words come at the beginning of a sentence or independent clause and must be followed by a comma. George Clooney has won an Academy Award for acting. In addition, he has been recognized for his activism and generosity. So you're using this, in addition, at the beginning of a new sentence to make the actor George Clooney sound even better. it's not just that he's a great actor and he's won an Academy Award. In addition to this, he has been recognized for his activism and generosity. He's just a great human being all around. So you're making your point stronger about George Clooney. What a person eats obviously affects his or her health. Semicolon, instead of starting a new sentence, you can use a semicolon. Semicolon, moreover, comma, it can have an impact on the environment. So, eating affects health, but we're going to add more information to make it stronger. Moreover, it can have an impact on the environment. What you eat can impact the environment. It's likely that the healthier you eat, the less of a carbon footprint, the less of an impact on the environment you will have. So, moreover, it can have an impact on the environment. The decision to go to war caused protests within the country, semicolon. Furthermore, comma, the nation lost international support. So, going to war caused protests. Furthermore, adding more information to this, the nation lost international support. It was even worse. Here's some other common linking devices. Besides, what's more? Also, examples such as, for instance, for example. So we can also use examples to make our point stronger. There are many simple things individuals can do to reduce their personal impact on the environment, such as walking to work and cutting down on water consumption. So when you make a statement, such as, using an example is a way to make your point stronger. Walking to work and cutting down on water consumption. Washington State has many volcanoes. For example, Mount Baker, Mount Rainier, and Mount St. Helens. For example and for instance can be followed by an independent clause, but such as cannot. Such as will not be followed by an independent clause. If that makes sense. Like this one, such as walking to work. So such as, when you give an example, will be like despite or in spite of. You can use a gerund or a noun phrase, but you cannot have a noun and a verb. For example, when you have for example, here's just a list of mountains. You do not need a complete example. But you can, with for example, you can if you need to. There are many simple things individuals can do to reduce their personal impact on the environment. For example, people can walk or cycle to work rather than driving. So for example or for instance, you can just have nouns or noun phrases, or you can have a complete independent clause, such as you cannot, such as you will just have nouns. So, saying all that, let's put all this together. I'm going to go back up and grab Rose's sentence again. The one about students. The one about students using slang. It is true that using slang in daily life helps students to sound like native speakers. Semicolon. However, comma, using a lot may affect students' academic writing. So I'm going to start breaking this up, and I'm going to use some examples to strengthen it. It is true that using slang in daily life helps students sound like native speakers. For example, words like gonna, coulda, woulda, shoulda, wanna are used in speech, to sound more like a young American. Now I'm going to change this However, using a lot may affect students, and I want to bring this down so I can show the whole thing. However, using it a lot may affect students' academic writing. Teachers cannot accept words such as I'll use my same list: coulda, woulda, shoulda, or wanna in an academic essay. So, let's see. Let me change this up a bit so I'm not elisions. No, not Ellison's. How to spell elision? That's not good. Oh, yeah. Except elisions such as gonna for going to, or wanna for want to in an academic essay. That's a little better. Okay. It is true that using slang in daily life helps students to sound like native speakers. For example, words like gonna, coulda, woulda, shoulda, wanna are used in speech to sound more like a young American. However, using it a lot may affect students' academic writing. Teachers cannot accept elisions such as gonna for going to or wanna for want to in an academic essay. Moreover, students need to learn that there is a difference between verbal and written communication, and they need to learn both skills. Moreover, to make my point stronger, students need to learn that there is a difference between verbal and written communication, and they need to learn both skills. So hopefully, by using, and let me pop out, hopefully by using things such as concession and addition and examples will allow you to continue to talk about the same topic for a while, and it will keep your sentences related when you're writing academically. I think the strongest point, though, is that it can keep you writing on the same topic. So use these skills to help you continue to write. Okay, so let's see what you've come up with. Let's see what I've missed while I've been working. Jundi, you're ready to try this? I have lots of hobbies, not hoobies, hobbies. For instance, I like watching movies, listening to some music, and drawing things. However, I have to study for my exam. Therefore, I can't do all of these activities. Good. Yeah, it's a couple good long sentences there, and a couple sentences on the same topic. These are strategies to help you keep writing on the same topic. So whenever you have to write some kind of exam or academic essay, and you have to write a paragraph or a short essay or short answer, and you just don't know what to say about a topic, We'll show some of the differences that exist within the same topic, or concede a point to the other side on the same topic, but return to your own side. Give examples, or keep talking about it with words like moreover or furthermore. So just keep going. Yeah, I'm a free bird now. I can't stop writing. I think you will find that it's actually quote unquote funner to write this way. I know sometimes students feel like when they're writing, they'll write one single sentence and feel like they've written everything they want to write. They can be done in a sentence. There is more to say. There is always more to say, and these words help us transition to be able to say more. Milena, you're asking, is it true we use moreover with the subject, but furthermore with the object? I don't know that rule, Milena. I use furthermore more as a transition, as a conjunctive adverb. I like to read books, magazines, and comics. Furthermore, I like to read on electronic devices like a tablet. I would just use it the same way as moreover, as like a conjunctive adverb, to help further a point, to talk more about a point. I think you're thinking of, I don't know if I'd be able to use this in a sentence. He doesn't like, what can I say? He doesn't like math, physics, or chemistry. I don't know, use a dash. Furthermore, throw another one at furthermore algebra. That's the only way I can think to use it for objects. I've only used it like this. I've only used it like this as a conjunctive adverb. Aaron, good. You're joining us late, but a good sentence. I had an unavoidable situation. However, I'll use a past tense. I wanted to watch live class. Good. So, again, it's not just using these words. Jundi, you're asking about the word hence. 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 Do we use a comma? Hence is like because. Or results. It's the opposite of because. I don't know if we use with comma or not. Let me look that up and I'll get back to you next time, whether we use punctuation with the word hence or not. Good. Shubham. How about I just copy and paste real quick, as we are almost out of time. I want to visit many historical cities such as Agra, Jaipur, am I saying that right? Mysore, Calcutta. However, to visit such places, I need a lot of money and vacation. Good sentence. Yeah, Sudeep, I think furthermore at the end to give another example of an object probably isn't the best place for it. Again, use these. The main point of this, let me go back to my green lesson. The main point of this lesson, and knowing words like however, despite, in spite of, such as, furthermore, moreover. Using words like that is simply to allow us to continue to write about the same subject, especially academically. It keeps you writing. These words will keep you writing, so you don't have to feel like your sentences are disjointed or that you have said everything you need to say in a sentence. Your reader will be curious to know the relationship between your opinion towards a topic and others' opinion towards a topic, or they'll want to know more. They'll simply want to know more about a topic. And most of all, they'll want to know examples, specific examples. When we write academically, often we write abstractly. We write about thoughts and concepts and ideas. And it's always good to give examples so people have a good concrete image, a good solid image, something from the real world they can attach this idea to. So use these words, use your conjunctive adverbs to keep writing. Good luck on any of your essays or exams you have coming up. If not, just please practice writing your English. And that's all the time for today. You had lots of great examples, as always. It sounds like you've really mastered the concession words like however, despite, although. So work on those addition words. Yeah, if I don't correct you in a sentence, it probably means your sentence is good. So I have to go now. I have to bid you adieu. I have to bid you goodbye. One more time. I'll be back next week. And until then, have a fantastic time. Keep practicing your English. And that's it. Okay. Bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye. Have a good one. I gotta go now. Here's your music.